going to capture some fabulous crystals with these seed beads. So I've got some size 10 seed beads, and I like these very much because they've got a rainbow finish to them, as do these amazing crystals. So if you see them, they really capture the light. They're gorgeous. Now you notice that I've got the lighter beads and the darker beads because I want to contrast with this. I want to be able to show the netting and to see the beautiful captured beads. So I've also prepared my thread, and I've got a couple of meters on here, and I've already pre-waxed it and ready to go. So to start with, I'm going to pick up one seed bead and a crystal, and I'm going to do that twice more. Seed bead and a crystal, seed bead and a crystal, so that I now have 3 of each on my needle. I'm going to bring them down the thread, but I'm going to leave about 3/4 of a meter, half a meter of length on the end, so that I can come back and finish off my clasp. So I'm leaving a long tail. Now if it gets in your way, you can always roll it up and, you know, put it around a card, or use a thread stopper. I'm going to go, I've caught the beads on my fingers, and I'm going to now go back through all those beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now by pinching and holding here, I can hold the beads, and then they don't run away with me, and they're staying in position. Now in order to make my circle, I now have to go back through that first bead, and then you'll see that when I pull up the thread, I now have a nice circle in place. Now I'm coming out of this seed bead, and I'm going to surround this little crystal with the seed beads. So I'm going to pick up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I always check to make sure, and then I'm going to skip over the crystal and go through the seed bead on the other side. Pull it through, move it around, and see I'm holding this tail, so it's giving me a purchase. And especially now while the I'm just starting out, it's always sometimes a little harder when you first start until you get, you know, a bit of the way down the work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, another 7 seed beads. Jump over to the next seed bead, and then you'll see I'll frame this next bead. Again, come around, pick up 7. 1, 2, 3. I'm really loving this color. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jump around and through that seed bead. Now, once I've gone all the way around and I've got my frame, what I need to do is I need to be able to step up to continue with the next row. So I'm going to carry around here, and you see we've got our 7 beads. I'm going to go through this 4th top bead. So I'll just follow along. 1, 2, 3. And then here's the 4th bead, and that's the central bead. So you can see that there. So my thread, my thread is now, more thumbs today. My thread is now coming out of this central bead. So now it's time, and of course if I pull it up, because this will be a tube, you see it frames. So now it's time to pick up another crystal, and then I'm going to jump over to here. Now there's my middle bead, but then I've got the 1, 2, 3, 4th bead, which is the next central bead in the row of 7 beads that I put in. And when I pop that in, you'll see that now it frames the bead. So again, pick up a crystal, Now there's that first row central bead. Here's my next lot of 7. So 1, 2, 3, fourth bead is the center bead. And if I go through there, you can see once I pull it up, oops, see now it's really making a circle. So as you can see actually quite easily now that all I have to do now is to pop in one more crystal, and then it just goes through, which that's the central fourth bead, 1, 2, 3, 4. It just goes through there. And when I pull it up, there we go. We've got a trio of beads, and we've got a bead in between, just like when we started. So I'll just go through that again. So coming out of the bead between the crystal, I'm going to, now I can hold it a little better too, and hold it here. I'm going to frame this crystal and jump over to the other bead, which is this one. So again, so our step 1 is we pick up 7 beads, 5, 6, 7. I'm jumping over the crystal. There's the bead. You can see there if I let the thread loose, that's the bead between them, and I go through there, pull it up, and now I've framed those beads. Go on to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to jump over the crystal, and there's the bead between the two, and go through there. And there's my next frame, and the same again. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. That's why it's always pays to just make sure that you do have your 7 beads on so that it works. Now here, there's the bead coming out from the crystal. So that's the one I'm going through. So I'll just do it here. But then I need to step up. So hang on. Just pull those up into place. There you go. So now you can see I've got the 3 beads framed by the seed beads. So the step 2 is we need to jump up to that middle bead because that's our step up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I go through 1, 2, 3, 4 beads, that's the middle. See, I've got the 3 on the other side, and that's my step up. So now I'm in position. You can see the space there waiting for 3 more crystals. So 1. Now I need to go through the middle bead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if he's popping down, just pop him up and go through the bead. Oh, can't see the forest for the trees. There it is. Go through the bead, spin it around. Tension is important here, so try, you can see again I'm holding the thread here now, jumping over to the middle bead. 1, 2, 3, 4, through that middle bead, pull it up nice and firmly, and pop in my last crystal. So this is our step 3, which is our crystals. There we go. And now we're back where we started. I've got my 3 beads between my crystals, and I'm back to step 1, which is my 7 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Aha. So it always pays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm jumping around the crystal and through the bead between. And so we're right back to step 1. And I'm going to continue that until I've used up my whole strand of crystals. And then I'll see you back at the end. But you can see how I've already got a nice little bit of framework happening there around the beads, and the contrast is quite nice. I've completed my length of netting with the beads, and now I'm going to add a clasp. So to do that, I'm going to add 3 seed beads and 1 4mm, and I'll bring that down. Then I'm going to add, to get my length for my bracelet, and you can vary this how you like, I'm going to add 15 seed beads. 15. Okay, now I've got my 15 seed beads. Then that will give me my length for the back of my wrist. Then I'll just add 1 2 3 seed beads. I've got here a 6mm bead, so I thought I'd just show you how to add a single bead clasp. Pick up 1 bead, and then I'm going to go straight back down through that 6mm bead, or you could use any size you like, really. Then I'll go down through my 3 end beads. 1 2 3. Then, because we've got 3 different areas here, I'm going to come up and down 3 times. So I'm going to add another 15, and I'll go back through the 4mm bead. Now I'm going to pick up another 3, and I'll take this one. So see, we're coming out of that middle bead. I'm going to now come across to the next one and put my needle through there. Now I've got to get to the 3rd one here, so I'll go down and around, or actually easily I can just go straight across. And now I'm coming out of this one. So of course 3 more beads. 1 2 3, and this time I'll go back up through the 4mm, and now you've got 2 options here. You can leave it at this and then just go up and around and tighten it up, but I think it actually looks really nice if I add another row of 15. So then I'll go back up through those 3 beads, back up through the clasp bead, through that end bead, and back down through the clasp and those 3 beads, and then I'll just come down at the side here and pull it all up. And then what I can do is I can then make some knots, carry on down and tie off my thread, and that end is finished. I've come to the other end and I've picked up my thread. Just like before, I've added 3 beads and a 4mm. I've added 15 and then 3, and then I've added another 16 to make my clasp loop. So I'll come back around through those same 3 again and pull up the loop. So now make it all nice and firmly up. Then again, it will be exactly the same as the other end. I'll pick up 15, go through the 4, 3 to here, come across here, another 3, another 15 around the loop, and then tie off.